Welcome everyone to this wonderful video titled Managerial Communications in Crisis Management. Remember, in during the times of crisis, what kind of communication modalities that we need to keep in mind is the very details that we'll be discussing in this particular video with you people. Remember, crisis is an unexpected and detrimental situation or event. This is unexpected and difficult, should I say, negative situation. Remember, it's a negative, it's a difficult situation or an event that happens. So, crisis communication can transform these unexpected into anticipated and probably respond accordingly. That is what the vitality of this presentation is all about. It remember, if you can convert adverse situation to your advantage, nothing like it. So, crisis communication, it's basically a branch of public relation. Remember, it's a branch of public relation. The way you communicate, the way you protect, the way you defend your organization at the time of crisis is all what we are discuss in the crisis communication. Now, before we come to those things of communication parameters, we need to understand the various types of crisis. Look out here, we have investigations, we have criminal allegations, we have media inquiry, and the violation of environmental right that comes into play. So what are the things that come across? There is certain investigation. Let's say there might be financial irregularities, there might be quality irregularities that needs to be checked in, there might be criminal allegation as to as, let's say, various kinds of labor law criminal that comes around, wherein you can have an underage employees working for you in or probably unhealthy work conditions and so on and so forth. There might be media inquiry regarding certain practices which might be done under the glimpse, or should I say, under the shelter of another business that you are actually carrying it out. And thereafter, the most common thing nowadays is the environmental impact assessment. If it is detrimental to the environment that your business is carrying out, we have those crises that needs to be managed. What are the various scenarios? There are basically three scenarios: ethical, legal, and financial. So basic looking at it is the fundamental scenarios that we need to address it, both in terms of the law of the land, both in terms of the ethical equity that we are talking about it, and the financial transaction that is there. So what is at stake for organization? Most important is the reputation. Reputation is of the utmost priority, and it needs to be defended at all costs. Remember, this is the only process, and should I say, the major process of crisis communication slash crisis management. What do we go around it? You may have heard of a lot of reputed companies. Let's say even Mercedes-Benz. A company like Mercedes-Benz is asking or withdrawing its products or repatriating its products which they have sold over a certain period of time, maybe pending certain defect that they have detected, let's say in the fuel injection, let's say in the shockers. And it need not be Mercedes-Benz, it can be Nestle with their products or Cadbury with their products, and so on so forth. A number of product company, when they demarcate, or when they during the production line and in one particular batch something might go array, something might go wrong, something that go tangentially across in a misdirected direction, organizations take upon themselves to call back their product only for the fact that they want to manage their reputation, maintain their quality, maintain their brand name at all costs. So crisis communication is subspecialty of business continuity. Remember, this is what we are looking into it. In case you cannot handle a crisis, you perish. You actually perish from that business segment. I have glorified certain examples which are renowned world across, and this particular video is essentially viewed by each one of you from different corners of the world. So business continuity is an activity performed by an organization to ensure that they are available, their products are available, their services are available, they are catering to the demands of its clients, customers, supplier, regulators, you name it, and they have it. So they have all the access to the every functions of the business, and that exactly is crisis communication. We will talk about the business continuation, assist organization to achieve continuity of critical business processes. Remember, as on when on basis under duress, communications becomes of vital paramount importance, because that will drive the perception of the event or the disaster the company is mitigating. Remember, this is what the organization is trying to achieve, to ensure that the business thrives after the storm, after the crisis have altogether. We are talking of the primary objectives of an effective crisis communication solution. How do we go about it? It is all about speed. Remember, as quickly as you can respond, being prompt, open up, be honest, be factual. In short, you have to be both effective and efficient. That is how you're going to respond it. With the advent of social media, everything is percolating to the end users, end customers, even people who are not even associated with the brands or the company names altogether will get sensitized. So it is better to defend their reputation, clarify your position, and respond preemptively. What are the strategies? Look out here. First and foremost is to be in touch, have connectivity, always be in touch with whatever customers you have, with whatever stakeholders feedback that you have, readily accessible to the news media. Be accessible. If your stock prices are being volatile, why is it being volatile? You need to clarify, in fact, to the most commonest denominator of a stockholder, who might end up having 0.0001 minuscule percentage of your company's stock altogether. But it is very better to be transparent. So being accessible is one of the way to be transparent. Show empathy towards the people involved. This is of vital importance. Yes, the people who are concerned with, be with them, shoulder them, understand them, make them feel that you are not abandoning them. In despite wrong product being issued, wrong product being sold, they have been recalled back by reputed motor companies. Allowed distributed access, yes, this is what which is very true. Have a various touch point, multiple touch points for the customer to access you. Let it be virtual, online, be it a physical brick and mortar store, be it at the regional office, and you can name it and you can have it. Streamline communication process altogether. Allow them to give a token number probably, and with that token number you can process and continue the communication dialogue as on when on basis, because that means that there is a threat that has been created, and the thread will solve all the dialects that happens around here. So maintain information security is the sanctity that is of vital importance. Always remember, the privacy is of paramount importance for delivering high volume communication. Despite those high volume communication, nothing should percolate to one another, and you let to isolate them in silos and address those issues one at a time. So, we will talk about only not more than 6 steps as far the crisis communication is concerned. Only 6 steps to solve all the misunderstanding, all the unfortunate event, the best practices that can be culminated into just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 steps before we wind up this particular presentation. First and foremost is to understand your team, or identify them. Identify your team who is looking at the crisis at that time, who are doing the firefighting mode. Remember, a small team of executives should be identified. This is of first importance. This will serve you to be the backbone of solving the issues in the crisis situation. The crisis management has to be stuck on by a dedicated team to look. Then comes the second step of having a key people, few people who will act as a media spokesman, who are going to address to the other external stakeholders, be it the legal fraternity, be it the media fraternity, be it the governmental fraternity. It is very important that such particular position is manned by a very skillful and person with a good gift of gab and a good strength of vocabulary knowledge, who needs to maintain all kind of communication between the internal employees and the external stakeholders. So identify a key spokesperson for such kind of situation. Spokesperson training should be trained. Remember, they should be trained to face the media, to undergo the scrutiny that the media will put it on, speak the message clearly. This is the first and the foremost thing that needs to be told. Speak the message clearly to the media. Then we look to have the stakeholders to eliminate any sort of misrepresentation or misunderstanding or anything that can be tangentially going wrong altogether. So what do the spokesperson training should be all about? It to face the media, to have a communication abilities as such to different stakeholders that he or she can go about to address it all together. You can have a team of spokesperson working around it around the clock, and to understand, to mitigate any kind of wrong notion that the public might be having or harboring among in their heart. All so we come to the fourth steps of establishing notification system. Essentially, nowadays everything can be notified through short messaging services that we comes around it, through your email that goes around it. Basically, what I'm trying to say is have a multiple touch points. Please have a multiple touch points through a email, through messages, through media ads, through social media, through print ad. You look at it, you have multiple touch points so as to clarify your position, be as transparent as possible. Then we come to the penultimate step of identifying key stakeholders. These members are external and internal stakeholders that are vital to the success of an organization. Who is an external stakeholder? The vendor who is supplying you the raw material, or probably finishing use is the end user of your finished product altogether. The carrier and forwarding agent that comes around it. Everybody is a external stakeholder, and who is your internal stakeholder is your employees, who might be getting disillusioned because of the misunderstanding of the unfortunate event that has been plaguing the company day in and day out. Ensure that they receive messages altogether. We have to make sure that proper communication is happening at all times. People have been manned, people have been made to understand exactly what is going on with the companies and how the company is looking forward and planning for the future. We go to the last steps is the developing the holding statement, the fundamental statement that is designed to be used immediately on a crisis basis, be it an excuse, be it a fundamental breakdown thing that comes around it. How do you camouflage a crisis so that you don't emerge a victim of the situation, but probably you emerge a winner from the situation and you skirt away the issue for the time being until and unless the crisis has been handled successfully. With this, I come to an end of this presentation. Thank you for watching this video.